LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
But I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This is Bridges Burned with Megan and Amy.
We already paid the price for telling the truth, so now nothing is off limits.
The bridges are behind us, and we're on the other side of the fire. Hi, Amy just woke up. Amy just woke up. We had plans to join at 4 o'clock. I had a little snooze on my couch, but I was like, set the alarm and everything, started setting up, and then I was like, hello, like, where are you? And she was sleeping for 4 hours.
Girl, I just took a 4.5-hour nap. We got up early. We are recording on Sunday, so Team Canada versus Team USA. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but I had there was all these drink specials. So I had these huge beers that were bigger than my head. I had 3 of them. And then we got home at noon. And I'm like, I'm going to have a little lie down. And then Ev shaking me, being like, Megan's calling you. And I was like, I did not just take a 4.5-hour nap. Oh my God.
I would be ill right now if I were you.
I don't know where I am. So this is going to be.
Yeah, she texted me. She's like, I'll be on in 5 minutes. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, it's all good. 5 minutes goes by. She calls and she's like, are you mad? I'll be on in 5 minutes. I'm like, yes, I'm not mad. I'm just waiting. Let's do this. I'm good. You were out of it. I can tell you're out of it.
Out of it, rushed out of a sleep, ready to go. And yeah, here I am, nice and rested, I guess, after a 4.5. And if anybody's wondering, we are doing this from our homes because last week, our vibes were not matching at all.
No. And I mean, last week we kind of started a new vibe of the show. We're going to interview people and that sort of thing, but we really wanted to start doing the show about we've burned the bridges and now we kind of just do whatever the fuck we want in our lives. And we just want to talk. We find that more fun for us. I don't know about you. I find it more fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we're in a new era of we don't want to just keep thinking of all the negative things. You want to focus on positivity and stuff like that. So we were like, yeah, but last week, whether it was anything we touched that had anything to do with technology, was fucked up. And oh my God, everything just broke. And then when I was leaving your house and I was like, I have a feeling. And then I got pulled over by the cops and I got a speeding ticket for over $200.
That's crazy. But it was going bad. It was and at first you were like, I can't do this. I'm frustrated. And I wasn't frustrated. And then I started trying to edit something for social media. And I was like, why is it doing this? I have other things I have to film today. Why is it doing this?
Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong last week. And it was just crazy. The vibes. But the last time Megan and I were both having off days, tell them about the car situation.
Oh my God. Wow. This was in the middle of summer. And where were you going? Were you going to Quebec?
We were going to Montreal, but we were taking Everett's car. And so Megan just moved here and had no car. So I was like, just take my car. It's cool.
I was like, cool. So I think you came to my house. Then we drove back to your house. I hung out for a little bit. And I was like, cool. I'm going to leave now. I'm going to go pick up my dad some dinner. And I was like, oh, the gas is low. I'll grab some gas. I got some gas. And then I try and start the car. Nothing. I couldn't even twist the key. It wouldn't even, and I was like, oh my God. And there were people around me. I was like, hi, can you help me? I don't know what to do. Trying not to stress you out. And then they were like, let's look in the glove box. They're like, the manual is all in French. I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. And then I think I put a little bit of oil in that I bought from the gas station. But then we had to push the car into a parking lot. And I felt so bad for you. You're like, I was just trying to help you. And, it's one thing after another for me.
Well, I felt so bad for you because you were not having the best year either. And you're like, your car won't start and I don't know what I did. And I was just like, it's not your fault. This is just like both of us. Like
You were like, did you put diesel in instead of gas? I'm like, come on. I'm not that dumb when it comes to cars. But it was stressful. But what was actually the problem?
oh, my starter just decided to end right there. Like, it was just like both of us having the shittiest day and my car being like, and now we're just going to make both of your lives miserable.
Yeah. And then I felt terrible because I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. I just have to leave your car here. And the lady at the gas station was like, so when are you going to come get it? I was like, ma'am, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Soon. It's in a parking spot. Like, who cares? And then, yeah, had to get picked up. And then later on, I think you had to get it towed, didn't you?
Yeah, so I called Ev and I was like, everything's wrong. And he like picked me up and he was like, no, it can't be anything. So we went and tried it out and it didn't work. And then we called the tow and everything like that and had to get it sorted. But like when you and I are having off days, it's like we should not hang out. So we were not taking chances this time.
No, yeah, we were like, let's record this by ourselves this weekend, see how it goes, because we're still learning this software anyway. And yeah, it's new.
It is new. So I believe it was Tuesday that the year of the horse started.
Mm-hmm. So exciting.
Have you had any changes?
Sort of. I mean, the changes sort of started before that, because I decided this year, I was like, there's no way in hell I'm doing another year like 2024, 2025. I'm not doing it. And I just made a decision that this was going to be different. And things have started kind of like not falling in my lap. I think it's because of the groundwork I've laid, but more things have been coming to me. And I've just been feeling more positive about where I'm going. And yeah, I don't know. Nothing crazy though. What about you?
Yeah. So when we recorded our last podcast, it was on the Monday when everything went wrong and you were reading me a whole bunch of things that you have to do to welcome in the year of the horse. What were they?
There was many of them. It's for any like Lunar New Year. You can't clean it all that day. Don't lend money. No holes in your clothes. Wear red. No arguing. I was going to work that day and I was like, that's going to be hard, but I'm going to do it. I'll be like, listen, I'll deal with you tomorrow. But I think that was basically it. There might have been another one, but don't cut your hair. I think that was one of them. Yeah. So it's just a way to start off the new year fresh.
Yeah. So I was walking around my house with like the greasy ass hair, like wearing everything that I owned that was red. And I was like, okay, no, let's make sure. And I've had like a really great week.
So what happened? I know what happened actually, but tell me more.
I got a new job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be working for this PR firm. I haven't signed papers yet, so I don't want to like put it all out there. But I've been talking a lot to Megan about this new job and everything. And it's just insane how complimentary they were to me and my experience, because they were like, oh my God, look at everything you've done. And I wrote Megan and I was like, oh my God, nobody's ever told me like I had so much experience. It's usually like, meh.
It's like when you're working in the industry, like in radio, TV, or whatever, they don't want you to think you're that good because they don't want you to know you deserve better.
It's insane. And this man, my new boss, the CEO, he was just so complimentary. And he was like, look at all of this experience you have and everything you've done. And I almost started to cry. I was like, thank you. It's
and
so
you
nice.
sent him clips from our show, right?
Yeah, I sent him like, and I told Megan too, because, from sitting on my deck, a little summer tipsy, thinking of doing a podcast to where we are, I'm so proud of us.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's just it. And it took us forever too. We were like, we need a title, we need a name. And it was like 5 hangouts and we were like, what's the name? like instead of just like doing it, but like now we're doing it. And I love that he said, so you guys went and got those guests on your own? And we're just like, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, what program did you use? And I was like, Instagram.
DMs. We slid into people's DMs.
And he's like, all those people wrote you back? And I was like, yeah, we know people. Like, you don't realize the connections you have until you're out of it. And we're like, yeah, no, we didn't have to use like a muck rack or anything like that. We just, wrote people. And most of the people that we wanted, minus Lisa LaFlamme.
And also Leah Miller still haven't messaged us back. But
yeah.
I haven't given up.
Oh, no, they're going to be on for sure. But I mean, it's pretty good considering. So, yay us.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that too. Like when I had like a little show on Eastlink years ago, same thing. You just message people and ask them. I mean, we learned that in school. You just email people and they either write you back or they don't. And if not, you just keep going and you ask the next person. For the most part, we get responses. I always have during my years in this. And sometimes you don't. It's just not a big deal. But yeah, I think we were kind of trained of zero fear. We just ask.
Yeah.
I used to ask everyone things. Like I used to, when I moved to Vancouver, and I used to do this in Halifax too. But when I first moved to Vancouver, I messaged all these people. I was like, hey, can you meet me for coffee and just like, can I like ask you questions and stuff? I did that to so many people.
It was crazy too, though, because he was asking, he's like, okay, well, you're going to be like on the other side. You're usually the talent. Now you're going to be doing this. Like, how do you work with egos? And I was like, radio men especially are nothing but ego. I said, I've worked with men as a co-host who are making 3 times my salary, who don't know what they're doing. And I have to do all the work and they get all of this. And he actually said, Megan, he was like, I'm really sorry you went through all of that. And, like, it won't be like that again. And I was like, oh. And even when I sent him the clips of the shows that we did, because season 1 was a lot of women in media telling their stories, he's like, I didn't know. He was like, it's like your own version of the morning show. And I was like, you're not wrong.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't think people that are not in our industry understand. And we have just, I have lots of friends that are not in this industry, but we also have surrounded ourselves with a lot of people who are, and we're just like, yeah, it is what it is. And you don't actually realize how fucked it is until you tell people who are not in the industry. And it is.
He was like, you might have to work a weekend here and there. And I was like, I worked every weekend. Like everything he was saying, and he was like, oh, this might like turn her off. And I was like, no, I did that. And oh, you're gonna pay me for it? Okay. Like,
oh, we get paid for this work?
Exactly.
I remember when I first started in radio and everyone's like, oh, well, I have to do that too. Like I worked for 30 days straight. And but in radio, when you say that to people, they're like, well, that's, you got to pay your dues. That's what I did too. I'm like, that's not legal. Like, you have to give people breaks. Like, yeah, this is not okay or normal. Like, right now, I have like a part-time job at the hospital here, and it's a government job. And I'm like, oh, like, people, if you work until 3:30, people are like, hey, peace. I'm like, oh, are you not going to stay an extra few minutes to help us out? Or, oh, no, you're done. So you leave because you're not getting paid anymore. And they'll get things like, if they're asked to come in, they get paid double time or whatever the fuck it is. And I'm just like, oh my God,
Even like last year, you weren't feeling so good and you're like, oh, I should call in sick, And you just called and you're like, I'm not coming in tomorrow. And that was like the end of the conversation. Whereas for us, it's like, this is why I'll return this day. Like you had to write an essay of why you weren't coming to work.
I'd practice. I'd be like, even if I really was sick, I'm not faking it, but I'd still practice. Be like, hey, I can't come into work. I'm just not feeling well. Maybe I can like cover somebody else's shift another time. Or was like bartering.
Exactly. And instead of now, you're just like, I'm not feeling well. And then that's it. And they don't like still send you messages or ask you to do something from home. It's like, you're sick.
They're actually not allowed to. Like, I've called in a couple times with this job, a few times actually, because there's been snow days. I don't drive in snow now in Vancouver, right? But they they're not allowed to call you. One of them needed to talk to me about something separate, a manager, and she was like, and I said, "Oh, sorry, I missed your call yesterday, and I forgot to call you back." She was like, "No, it's okay. I realized you had called in, so like I can't call you, and I made a mistake, so it's okay. Okay, we can talk today." I was like, "Rules! I never knew about these."
Isn't it insane? So, like,
Yeah.
all these things he's telling me, he's like scared he's gonna scare me off from the job. And I was like, no, that seems like super normal. He was like, maybe on a like Sunday, you might have to work for like 10 minutes and be late for brunch. And I was like, girl, I would make it to brunch on a Sunday, like back in the day. So yeah, it's crazy how our brains are so functioned on how it was, especially when you've done something for over a decade. So anything that's different, you're like, oh my God, is this how it is?
If you were at home and your radio boss called or whatever, or emailed or whatever, I don't know about you, but I would get back to them like right away.
I went to Cuba because I went by myself. I was having a nervous breakdown. I just needed to be by myself, by his son. And I didn't have Wi-Fi in my room. I only had it in the lobby. And I would check it 5 times a day. And every time I checked, it was my boss asking me a question. And I was like, oh my God, I got to get back to him. Like,
yeah, like we took our work home with us and it was expected to answer. Like, what I want to do, I want to work for myself anyway. So I don't really mind if I am working like little bits during the day, but like, I don't want to expect it that I drop everything for you if I'm on vacation. Like, that's not okay.
no, absolutely.
If you work for yourself, everything's different. But when you're working for a company, that's not acceptable.
Yeah. It's just so different. So I'm really excited, but it's just so funny because, the year of the horse started on the Tuesday, and I just feel like everything just kind of came together. So I went to see a medium yesterday, Megan.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was 3 girls. They're called the Triangle of Light.
Okay.
And it was me and 10 other people. And it was like, at first you're like, okay. And then they started talking to me and it was like, oh, okay. Like I've had like really bad bowel issues for like the last 10 years and stuff. And she's like, oh, your stomach and this, and is it diverticulosis or Crohn's? And I was like, well, I'm not sure. And they're like, yeah, well, somebody's like watching you. But then the really interesting part, so they let us record it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I listened to that
great.
last night as I was falling asleep.
I had to send it to you. I was like, this is insane. And they kept talking about horses, and they're like, horses. And I was like, well, my mom rides horses, but I played it for Everett because Everett's had a lot of family that passed, and it was really his family that came in to, make a little bit of closure. So he's like, horses. He's like, you and Megan have been talking about the year of the horse since like January 1st. And I was like, oh my God, that's it. And she was like, I'm seeing horses. He's like, this is it, like the year of the horse. And I was like, I didn't even put those two together. I was like, well, my mom rode horses and I go around horses. So maybe he's like, no, the year of the horse, like you guys are stepping up. And I was like, I like that point of view.
What did he think about what she said about his family coming through?
He bawled.
Oh, did he?
So I think she was like, you can record this. So I recorded the whole thing and I sent it like to the whole group because we had like a messenger group. I knew most of the people that were there. And I knew he wouldn't overly believe me about everything. So like I poured him a glass of wine, and at first, like, they're not gonna hit on everything. So at first he's like, this sounds like bullshit. She's like, do you have a son? I see a boy around you. And I was like, it's not mine. Like, I don't know who this kid is, but tell him to like fuck off. And then they started talking about his hair, and his hair is like everything to him, and he cut it off. And just his mother's passed, his dad's passed, his brother's passed, his stepdad's passed. And this is all in like a 10-year span. So it was really quick. And yesterday was actually the 5-year anniversary of his brother passing. And so before I went, I was like, Jason, like, let's talk. Like, you're the one that Everett needs the most closure for, because he did die in an accident and there was no closure. And he came through and everything he said made sense.
Oh,
And Everett just started to bawl when he heard it, and I sent it to his other siblings, and they were all crying because everything just resonated, and it was a beautiful moment.
it did seem when I was listening to it at first that you were like, no, I don't have that. No, that's not me. And I was like, come on, bitch, get something right here. Like, because I've been to a psychic maybe once or twice when I lived in Nanaimo. It's called the Calico Cat Cafe, and they read your tea leaves, and then tell you all this stuff. And like, it was good, but like, I want something like big from that. Like, I want to go there and have a moment. You know what I mean? So I was hoping for that for you, and I think you did have it.
What are like the tea leaves like? I've never done that.
So you go to this cafe, like you literally like eat, drink, whatever, you drink the tea. And then when you're done the tea, they take out it's like a saucer and the cup with the tea leaves, and they dump it like this, and then they spin it like that a few times, and then they lift it up, and the tea leaves are all on the saucer thingy. And then they read your tea leaves. And I think I had it all written down, like what she said. This was like 10 years ago that I went. And it was like when I was like fresh out of my long-term relationship, and it just said like, you're going to do certain things. And I'd have to look back to see if it all was true, but
Of course. Was there anything like really personal in it that like really resonated with you? Because Everett's like, you can read anything into anything. But I was like, one of the things that they said was Everett's always had really long hair. He loves his long hair. And this year he had shaved it. And that she was like, is your husband going to shave his head? And I was like, he did for the first time. And they were like, oh, well, on the other side, they're saying it looks good. They were like making fun of him, saying that they're going to have to braid it. And that would have been his brother for sure, being like, oh, you look like a girl. Look how long your hair is. So like those little things. And Everett wasn't with me, right? So it's not like she could see him. So I was like, oh, that's good. Did you get that with like tea leaves at all?
no, it wasn't really as much like someone's come through. It was more like, we see this for you. Like you're, I think one was something along the lines of, she said something like, you ended something recently, and then she looked at me and she was like, it wasn't your fault. And for a second, I felt a little emotional, and then I was like, I know it fucking wasn't. So I was like, because at first I was like, oh, that like, you're kind of like, it felt emotional to me, but it wasn't anyone's fault, my relationship ending. It just ended because it was supposed to end. But so yeah, it was more like, you are going to do this. You are going to go here. It wasn't like someone's coming through. I mean, knock on wood. Back then, especially, I really didn't have many people that had died around me. Now I have a few more people, but like no one significant in my life, like Everett's family, for example. Like knock on wood. Fuck, I hate even saying that, but yeah, so nothing like that came through. But I would love to do it again. Like go to a medium. I'd like to do that.
Oh my God, I should bring you to these girls. Like at first when we started, there was 9 girls and 1 guy. And this guy was like really closed off, and she started with him. And she started, and like everything she was saying was wrong. But then she hit something, and I've never, like, this man was in tears, like bawling, like a whole thing of Kleenex. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I was like, okay, let's see what happens. And then she says some things and she puts it out, and you're like, that could be me. But when she looked at me, she's like, you have stomach issues. Do you have Crohn's? Like, and I was like, I'm actually going to get tested this week. Yeah. Like, and then everything else. And I was just like, this is cool.
I really want to believe that stuff, but I feel like sometimes I'm a bit too logical, and I'll say that kind of what Everett was saying, like, well, of course you can make anything fit, but I'm very open to it not fitting. I would love for it not to fit. I'd love for you to tell me that you know something about me that I haven't told you, or someone has crossed over, or whatever you say, like someone's coming through that passed away that I know. I would love to hear that. So I'm open, but I'm also a little bit too logical sometimes. And I'm like, really? I don't know.
We should book them on our show, and then you can get like a live reading.
Actually, we should. That would be amazing. We should do that.
Yes. One thing that was really and I talked about this on our last podcast for Valentine's Day. There's a Mexican restaurant over here, and they're doing like a trip to Mexico. And I kept telling Av, like, we have to go. Like, we're going to win a trip to Mexico. He's like, okay. And I was like, no, I feel it. Like, we're going to be in Mexico. We're going to be in Mexico. Like, that we're going to win this trip. And he's just, there. And his brother came through when he did. And he's like, hey, your brother-in-law, like, he keeps talking about pina coladas.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, he wouldn't know what a pina colada is. Like this guy from PI who's like never been down south. And then I told Everett, I was like, see, he's coming to Mexico with us. So mark my words, May 1st when they do the draw, if I win a trip to Mexico, like I should be on The View.
That would be amazing. Honestly, I feel like, so a few months ago, my friend Anna and I applied for Amazing Race Canada. And we got to the second round of auditions. And then after that, they said, no, you didn't get through. I don't know if I told you that part.
You didn't tell me that. I've been just like sitting and waiting.
Yeah, they said, no, you didn't get through. And you and I had talked before about it. And you were like, I feel like you're going to get in. And I said, I do too. But maybe we're feeling it for next year. Like, because I even said to Anna, like, I am working my ass off on my social media. I want to get all my shit going. I want to like get, more followers, more videos, everything. So maybe it just needs another few months of work in order for them to want us. Or maybe we're just delusional. I don't know.
No, I don't think that at all. Like the fact that I just had this feeling like that's where you guys are meant to be, and like your video and I know your friend Anna, and I think you guys would be great on TV. So I feel like something's gonna happen. Like, listen to me. After last week, I'm like, trust me, I know everything. I'm a psychic now. Like the year of the horse.
Hi, I'm Jane Wakefield, and I host The Human in the Loop in partnership with Gravity. That's Gravity with 2 E's, helping organisations innovate with AI securely. We explore the rise of AI agents, their history, their potential, and the risks organisations must navigate as they scale. Search for Human in the Loop wherever you get your podcasts.
Predator Badlands, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
Here, you're not the predator. You're the prey. 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 Prey.
Critics are saying it's epic, stunning, and breathtaking.
Many have come here. None have survived.
Predator Badlands, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+, rated PG-13.
But I do. I feel like things are coming together. Does that sound cheesy?
No. I sometimes I wonder too, I'm like, is it because we've made the decision that that's going to happen? Like sometimes they say if you want something to happen, you have to say it out loud. You have to say the positive things. What is it? The secret or whatever. You have to say it. You have to manifest it, but you also almost have to like, it's all about energy. You got to pretend you're already living it. And so is that why this year's already going so well for me and you? Because we've just been like, fuck this shit. We're not having another 2025, 2024. Not doing it. We've just, our whole mindset's different and we've put that out there. Like, I don't know.
I find it funny too, because I can remember few different times when I knew it was going to be me. Like I remember being in like grade 5 and they were like Stars on Ice was coming to Montreal or something, and they were like pulling names and I was like, oh well, it's going to be me. Like I just felt it, and then it was me. And then I remember being like in Mexico and like dolphins, and they're like, and a dolphin's gonna swim with one of you, and I was like, well, it's gonna be me. And then it came like right to me, and I was like those things. I remember once a few years ago, Ev and I went to a cribbage tournament because we're 80. And I walked in and I was like, oh my God, we're going to win, and we're going to win so much money. He's like, we didn't even start playing yet. I was like, I can feel it. And then we won the whole fucking cribbage tournament. Like we walked away with $800. He's like, how did you know? And I was like, it was just a feeling that I had. So like all of those like little feelings that I've had when I feel like super certain, I've had every single day this week, minus, the day that we hung out, because that was just a disaster of a day.
That was terrible. That wasn't even the year of the horse yet. That was like 2 days before or one day before.
Everything going wrong. And I was like, okay, I got to leave your house. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to hit an animal or something's going to happen. And then I got pulled over and I was like, fuck, this is worse. This costs more.
Yeah. Well, I've had that feeling twice before. One time I was at our radio station Christmas party in Toronto, and they draw a name every year for someone to go on a trip. And I just kind of knew my name was going to be drawn. I just pushed back my chair and just waited for them to call my name, and they did.
Where did you go?
I went to Dominican Republic.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just knew mine. And maybe, I wonder if they set it up that way. I don't know. Even if they did set it up that way, I wouldn't have known.
No.
So I really literally pushed, because you have to walk up and get the certificate thing. And I was just ready for it. I walked up, and I took my boyfriend at the time, which was a mistake. Should have taken a friend, but whatever. I still went, and it was lovely. It's a beautiful country. And the other time I had the feeling was, this is not a great thing that happened, but my ex-boyfriend, we were coming to Halifax. We were living in Vancouver, and he would park his car on a very busy street and just leave it there all the time. It was fine. You were allowed to park on it. It was just busy. And I said to him before we left, I was like, Mike, do you want to leave your car there? I feel like you shouldn't leave your car there. And he was like, no, it's fine. I always leave my car there. It's fine. I'm like, yeah, I know, but we're leaving for a week. He was like, it's fine, Megan. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I was like, all right, not my car. Fine. So we went to the airport. We were in Halifax maybe like 3 or 4 days, and it was my grandmother's birthday. And Mike looked at his phone, and I could see him furiously texting, and it was our landlord messaging. And an old lady had driven into his car and totaled it. She totaled it. And obviously it was just taken away, and all kinds of shit happened when we got back. But I was like, he even said to me after that, he was like, I will never ignore anything you say ever again. And I was like, I don't know why. I just had this fucking feeling that something was going to happen with that car.
Isn't that weird though? Sometimes you just get this feeling whether you're going to win or something's off. And I feel like so many people just... And I feel like so talking about feelings, but it's true. Like when people talk about gut instincts and everything going on, you should never ignore your instincts because they're just there. And I feel like they're trying to talk to us so often, but we're just so enamored with everything else that's going on that we don't pick up on them.
And it's hard too, because we don't have proof. If we listen to that gut instinct and nothing happens, we don't have proof that our gut instinct was right, really. And that kind of sucks. Actually, this is another one. This wasn't my feeling, though. It was my friend's feeling. So we were in junior high or high school, and my friend did not like my other friend's dad. She just didn't like him. She thought he was weird. And I thought he was weird, too, but I didn't have a crazy feeling. Didn't like him. Anyway, years later, we found out he had molested and sexually assaulted numerous kids that he taught. He was a gym teacher. Numerous. I don't even know how many, maybe 4. And he was basically a pedophile. And my friend just had this fucking feeling. And I remember saying to her, wow, you had that feeling. And I guess so now we could prove it. But back at that time, we couldn't. She was only 13, 14 years old. And so it's hard. You just got to listen to it and listen to the gut feeling. And you might not have proof. You just have to believe it.
Yeah. And I think this week really oh my God, that story's awful. It feels so weird just talking after that. But
I know it's gross.
I wish people could have seen us last week when we recorded, because when I say everything went wrong, everything went, nothing was loading. The audio, one of our mics didn't even turn on. Everything that could have gone wrong. We sat there for what usually takes 2 hours to edit. I was like, I gotta go home and figure this out. And you were like, yeah, we need to not be together right now, because our computers were meshing with each other and not working. And it was just technology, all the vibes were off. And I was just like, this shouldn't be this hard. And then I was like, Megan, we should not hang out when we're both off. Like, no, we don't need our vibes. Like something.
I mean, I didn't even know I was off until that happened.
Something was off. It couldn't have all been me. Like, if it was, I'm very, very sorry. But like,
no, but I think it just like once we were together, it was not working.
No, nothing worked. Everything was just off. And then just seeing where the week progressed. And I'm just like, I think everybody is really hard on themselves, and just take a second and just appreciate those little things and just listen to those little manifestations that come, because I really do believe that the world around us is trying to tell us things, and we just have to be open to hearing them.
Yeah, I mean, I have one more week left of this job. Like, basically, I've been training at this job since October. It's just been a long training, but also then I think they just needed me, so they just extended it. And so fine, whatever. Next week is the last week of February. So October to February, I've been kind of training. And usually I would be really stressed out because the week after, I don't have officially a job. But what I do have is a few things on social media that I'm working on. And I'm so excited to have that time now. Like, I can't wait to be able to work on my social media stuff, because I'm really feeling it. I'm like, have this really good feeling in my gut that things are moving up. And where I would usually be stressed, I'm not. I'm excited.
Really?
Yes, I'm excited. I'm also excited to get back to my regular workout routines. Like, I love working out early in the morning, and then it just starts my day off amazing. And so I'm just looking forward to getting back to that. I would love to be able to add a hot man into that mix, but
we're manifesting
it. It just would just add that little.
Do you know what's funny?
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. When I was like looking for a new job, right? Like, there were so many times I was like, well, maybe I'm going to go back to school. And like, it was just like every roadblock possible to go back to school. And then I found like something, and it was like, I'm not going back to school for 2 years to make like minimum wage. I'm not doing that. And I am very much a homebody, and I love to be home. So I was like, maybe something remote, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this. And then I got this job, and like, the interview process and everything like that. But I am so used to everything going wrong. I was like, who like applies to 3 jobs these days and gets a call back and then gets another call back and then gets a job? And I was like, this is either going to be like a piece of shit, or I'm not going to get it, because it just seems so easy.
And maybe all those doors closed on you because this was what was supposed to happen.
Exactly. Like, but I'm just so used to such a negative brain of like, and everything just seems so easy. And even when he was like, he sent me a message, he's like, can we do a Zoom on Friday? And I was like, ugh. And Everett's like, if he's calling you on Friday to tell you didn't get the job, that's a shitty ass person. Like, who calls somebody on the weekend to let them? And I was like, that's true. And then he was like, I almost started crying. I was like, everything he said was so complimentary and everything. And I was like, thank you for like boosting my confidence. He's like, what are you talking about? Like, look at everything you've done. Look at this. And I was like, oh my God. But like, I'm going to get to work from home. The hours are bomb. And it just everything. I'm making more money than I did in radio. Like,
that's sick.
He's like, I wish we could offer you more. And I was like, Ma.
What do you mean?
Yeah, this seems decent, dude. Is this like not what normal people make? But just everything coming together. And I think because you're a Gemini, I'm a Capricorn, and I think it was like is it an 11-year or 9-year cycle we just broke?
Something tells me 11, but I don't know. I can't remember.
Same. Like Everett's like, it's been, Everett in the 15 years we've been together, he's lost like 29 family members, and there's been like this and this and this. And he's like, it's just been heartache after heartache after heartache. And I was like, yeah, I know. So like, just to have really good things happen back to back, and you're just so not used to it. And you're like,
No.
okay, I'm like I'm happy. I'm really happy. And I'm happy for.
You also got engaged at the beginning of the year. Like that also happened.
I know.
It is strange. Like, I mean, I'd say my entire 30s have been terrible.
But I went
really, really bad.
Do you know what's funny is, I don't know if you watch the Kardashians or not, but when Khloe was turning 40, she's like, I can't wait to get out of my 30s. My 30s have sucked. And I was like, same girl. Like, I feel that energy. Like, how many lessons can one person learn? And
yeah.
And then
like, honestly, sorry, keep going.
No, it was just like, and then when I turned 40, I was like, I'm going to go to the Dominican. 40 is going to be my year, which was last year. And then I got fired. And I was like, okay, that's not how I expected.
But maybe it was your year because you had to get fired. I had to come back and we had to start the podcast. Like that was just the starting. Maybe it wasn't like anything you noticed, but it was the beginning of things.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just feel good. And I feel like all the Zen energy around me and my aura. People are like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, to be fair, like, I feel like when I came back last year and saw you, like, I feel like you're very different from that person that I saw a year ago when I came back.
Yeah.
You seemed tired and you seemed defeated when I came back. And that's very different from now. I don't know how I seemed when I came back, but I had just finished 2 years of fucking hell on earth, literally. And like we talk about listening to our gut and the universe and all that kind of shit. Literally for 2 years, it was telling me to stop what I was doing, and I wasn't listening. I was trying to make things work that weren't working over and over and over again. Like I was not learning my lesson, and I had to get down to the fucking ground, to the absolute bottom of the earth, hell, before I was like, oh, okay, I think I need to make a change now. Like, it took everything.
It's so funny because I look at like where we were in May when you came home. You came home in April, right?
April, yeah.
And I'm just like, when you came home with like, I'm here, this is a pit stop, and then I'm fucking out of here, and this and this. But then I feel like being home grounded you back to what you needed, whether it was like real relationships and finding yourself again. Because, and I think we've talked about this with like people, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to go to like Amsterdam and start a new life and do this and do this and do this, and then I'm going to go to New Zealand. And it's like, well, if you're not okay in your brain, you're not going to be okay there. Like, you can't run away from who you are. And I think that being home really grounded you too. And I think if we look back to a year ago of where we are, we're very different people, but for the best.
I was devastated this time last year. Like, I knew I had to leave, but I was fucking sad. Like, I was really sad about leaving BC. I still love BC. I still think about BC all the time. I still love it there, but I was so upset, and I didn't realize I needed Halifax I just didn't realize I needed it to get back to where I needed to be. Again, I do not plan on staying here, but I don't actually know what my plan is. Because before I was like, I'm stopping and then I'm going to England right away. And now, since a bunch of things have happened, I'm like, I don't actually think that's a good idea for me to do that. I actually think that will get me back into the same place I was in Vancouver. I think more of what I want is to be able to work from like remotely and go to England, but go to England for like a month. And then I've said this before, I really feel called to Bali for some reason. I want to go to Bali for a month and be able to work. And I've been able to kind of focus on other things since I've been here. And that was not in my game plan at all. Not at all when I came back here. For real. Like I was thinking, I thought I was going to be in England by June.
Yeah. it's just so funny. I think once you slow down and stop making all of these plans, because let's face it, we don't have control over any of that.
No.
We can kind of figure ourselves out and find ourselves. And I'm so glad you came home.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, like, I didn't realize how much I needed the people here. I didn't realize I felt like coming back would mean I'm a failure because I left here to do something bigger in my mind. But I don't think it means I'm a failure. I think it means I needed to fucking ground myself because I was drowning. And I can't even imagine if I was still in BC doing what I was doing like a year ago.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that. Sometimes I think about little things that I miss. Like I miss my car. Like stuff like that. But I can't even imagine if I was doing the same thing. I would be so miserable and with no hope at all. And I have hope now.
That's amazing. I feel like I've lived 17 days today. Waking up at 5 to go watch a hockey game and then passing out for half of the day.
Yeah.
But I was at the bathroom at the pub and a girl's like, I know you. How do I know you? And I was like, oh, well, I'm Amy. I used to work. And she's like, that's it. And she gave me a hug. She's like, I miss you so much on the radio. And it felt like a lifetime ago. I feel like that was the first time that it wasn't like I felt like a failure and I let people down type thing. And I was like, I have something bigger and better. And thank you for supporting me those years. But now I'm just a person who gets drunk at 10 a.m.
You should have said, oh, I'm Amy. You know me from Bridgesburnedpod.
I should have. But listen, they had Thunder mugs for like $10. And after the third one, I don't even remember my name. Girl, I just woke up from a 4-hour nap. I have not eaten yet. Like,
I saw those pics. I saw your Instagram and I was like, holy fuck, that's a huge beer.
They were massive. Why don't they have drink specials like that all year round? I'm dead at myself today now that I'm like slowly waking up. I can't believe like we got home before noon and I was like, okay, I'll take like a 2-hour nap. And Ev's like shaking me, being like, Megan's.
Wait, did you guys go to Porter's Lake Pub?
No, we went to Old Number 7. So up there. So they had like breakfast and stuff, but like everything has meat in them. As a vegetarian and it doesn't eat eggs, it's hard to have breakfast. But I was just like, whatever. I had like 7 cups of coffee and 3 beer. I'll have a 2-hour nap. I'll be good to go.
That'll do it.
Girl, I took a 4-hour nap. That's not a nap. That's a coma.
Jesus Christ. I was thinking if it was a Porter's Lake Pub, like a lot, like shit's happened at the Porter's Lake Pub.
I haven't been there since the last time you and I were there, where we were not okay. I think we took turns vomiting and
okay, I'm going to tell the story. I don't eat edibles. I don't smoke weed, nothing like that. I don't ever. And it just never has worked with me. Like I remember being like 15, be like, I'm going to smoke weed. I'm going to smoke weed. And no, I've never liked it. Anyway, when I was in Sydney, BC last year, I was out with my mom and her friends. And my mom was like, Megan, do you want an edible? I was like, are you kidding me? My mother is offering me an edible. I was like, no, I don't do edibles. I don't like them. And I'm drinking. Fast forward a month. I'm at the Porter's Lake Pub, absolutely annihilated already. I was drinking wine and gin and tonics. What the fuck? And then Amy goes like this, hands me like flat hand, full edible, full like gummy. And I grabbed it and I ate it. I don't even know how many milligrams that was, but 1 milligram would have been too much for me. Like, and then all of a sudden, I was like, I'm going to fall on the fucking ground. I forgot what I did. I went to the bathroom. I think I threw up, but then I sat on the toilet, but like I couldn't lift my head. My head was like between my legs. And I'm texting you, you're not answering. And I'm like, I have to get up and walk out. So I somehow managed to stand up, walk out. We get to the car and I have a video of us in the car. You're hiccuping and my head is between my legs. And I'm like, let's get it home. I couldn't even say it like, let's go home. Like I was fucked.
So that was exactly a month after I got fired, right? And so every time, I swear to God, it was like a drinking game. Time somebody was like, "What happened to you? Why aren't you on the radio?" I took a shot. To the point where one of Ed's friends, we were sitting at the table and he's like, he kept handing me water. And I was like, "Thanks," not realizing. But then like, I don't even know whose car we were in, but you and I were sitting in the back of somebody's car waiting for somebody to drive us home. I'm trying to take care of you. Like, it's okay. And then they were like, "Get her in this car." And I was like, okay. But like, what a fucking disaster. I have not been back there since then. Like, I vomited in the bathroom and you're like, "Me too." And I was like, yay.
I don't throw up. I'm not a throw upper very often. It very rarely happens. It happened that night. Also, I was like on my game. I was like snapping too, man. I was like, "Oh, got me." And like, yeah, I don't have stuff like that anymore, but
Listen, bitch, the shedding is done. Now we run. And even in my like read, when she was talking about horses and horses and horses, and Ev's like, "You have been saying the year of the horse," and I was like, "Oh, is that what that is?"
Yeah, probably. I would say I'd give you a clip of that video, but I don't think anyone needs to see that. The video of us in the car.
No, please don't. It's like so it's so embarrassing to see yourself, and I'm like trying to take care of you, and I'm like bashing your head. You probably
You're just like looking outside. You're like, "We're going home." Such a fucking disaster. And then I woke up the next morning and I was like, the fuck did happen? And I went out into the kitchen and Ever was there with his friend. And I was like, what did I do? And they were like, nothing. You were completely normal. I'm like, well, thank God for that. But I mean, I have the ability to act very normal, I guess, when I'm absolutely shittered, plus high on drugs, which I don't ever take.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have offered, and I shouldn't have taken it either. I was like,
I usually would never say yes, even if I was like drinking a lot. Usually, I'd be like, no, but I don't know what got into me.
I don't even know. I feel like I was picking up drinks for other people and just giving them to you. And somebody's like, where's my drink? And I would take it away from Megan and be like, here it is. Like
this is supposed to be Everett's drink. I'm going to go give it to him. I had been drinking his gin and tonic. I'd actually don't really drink gin. Maybe that was it. Yeah. You're like, I'm going to take the gin and tonic now. I was just
I just look at like where I was last year and how like to now. And I'm just so much more clear and calm and confident, and I just like, yeah, the year of the horse. Nay, motherfucker.
Oh, shit. I mean, I have good high hopes for it. I mean, it cannot get worse than what I have already been through. So I've said that before. Like, it can't. There's nothing worse than what's happened.
I love a good manifestation, bitch. You know that. Like, let's fucking go. It's nothing but up from here.
Exactly. I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited. And if Lisa LaFlemme and Leah Miller are listening, make our year even better because we really want to interview you.
Amen.
Amen to that.